In a small town in Brazil, Sofia, a young, adventurous woman, spent her days dreaming about visiting new places. Her best friend, Camila, shared her love for travel. They often talked about exploring iconic spots around the world, but New York City was always at the top of their list. However, for now, they spent most weekends visiting local places, laughing and imagining what Times Square would be like. One sunny afternoon, Sofia's phone buzzed. "Camilla, you're not going to believe this," she shouted. Her cousin, who worked for an airline, had offered them 2 discounted tickets to New York City. Camilla's eyes widened. "Are you serious, Sophie? This is it. It's our chance to finally see Times Square." Excited but nervous, Sophia hesitated. "Yeah, but New York is so far away. What if we get lost? What if it's too overwhelming?" But Camilla grinned and said, "Come on, we're ready for this." The next day, they talked to Sophia's cousin, who gave them tips for their trip. "Look, New York can be intense," he told them, "but it's amazing. Just stay together, trust each other, and enjoy it." He also gave them the contact of one of his friends, Mike, who lived in Manhattan. "If you need anything, Mike can help you out. He's a true New Yorker." A few weeks later, Sofia and Camilla boarded the plane. As it took off, they gripped each other's hands, both nervous and excited. They were finally going to New York. Camilla looked out the window and whispered, "We're really doing this, Sophie." "Yeah," Sofia replied with a smile. "We're going to see Times Square." After landing, they navigated the chaotic airport, got through customs, and managed to get a taxi. But once they arrived in the city, things got confusing fast. The loud sounds, tall buildings, and constant movement were overwhelming. Camilla checked her phone. "The map says Times Square is that way, I think." As they walked, they asked a man passing by, "Excuse me, sir, is Times Square this way?" The man looked at them, smiled, and said, "Oh, you're almost there. Just keep going straight. You'll know it when you see it." "Thank you," Sofia and Camilla replied in unison. Finally, they saw the bright lights in the distance. "Camilla, do you see that? It's Times Square." Sofia gasped. They took a deep breath and walked forward, hand in hand, like they were stepping into a whole new world. As they got closer, the lights became brighter, and they could feel the energy of the place. Sofia took out her phone. "Let's get a selfie here, right in front of that huge billboard." But suddenly they heard someone yell, "Hey, watch out!" A cyclist swerved quickly to avoid them as they stepped back to get the perfect angle for their selfie. Both girls jumped out of the way just in time, their hearts racing. "Maybe we should stick to the sidewalk." Camilla laughed, trying to catch her breath. Sofia nodded, her heart still pounding. "Yeah, let's not become New York's next headline." After the scare, they finally found the perfect spot to take their photo. They both laughed as they posed, capturing their smiles with the lights of Times Square behind them. They had done it. They were living their dream, standing in the middle of one of the most famous places in the world. Their smiles grew bigger as they soaked in the energy around them. They took pictures, watched the street performers, and even grabbed a quick hot dog from a vendor. They felt like real New Yorkers. Sofia smiled at Camilla. "We actually did it. We made it to Times Square." Camilla replied, "Yeah, and we're still alive." After hours of exploring, they finally called Mike, Sofia's cousin's friend, who offered to show them around more of the city. They returned to their hotel that night, exhausted but happy, feeling like they had conquered something huge. Back in Brazil, Sofia and Camilla couldn't stop talking about their trip to New York. They told their friends about almost getting hit by the cyclist, the giant screens, and the energy of Times Square. Their perspective on the world had changed, and they felt braver, more adventurous. Reflecting on her experience, Sofia realized that facing fears and stepping into the unknown was worth it. She looked at Camilla and said, "I think we're ready for more adventures now." Camilla smiled. Agreed. The world is waiting. The story reminds us that sometimes the scariest steps lead to the most unforgettable moments. And maybe, just maybe, that's where life's magic truly begins.